So, got a few more minutes here. Well, a couple hours before breakfast here at the, again, I'm staying at the Cloran Mansion. Cloran Mansion Bed and Breakfast. I just wanted to chat briefly about how I have been traveling on this trip, how I travel on a lot of these trips. I had made my hotel reservation, or my, in this case, bed and breakfast reservation for the first 2 nights. And I also have a reservation for my final hotel in Chicago before I go home. But I left the middle section open. And the reason I do is because I want to give myself an opportunity to course correct as I go. I have a general idea of where I'm going, a pretty specific idea, but every evening, based on what I've done during the day, I kind of look at the schedule, the itinerary, the maps I've drawn out, and I look at things with a fresh perspective based on what I learned throughout the day. Yesterday morning, I was talking to the proprietor here, or the owner, the operator. Yeah, the owner of the bed and breakfast. It's a husband and wife team, and I had talked to the gentleman. I forget his name. Probably should have it. I think I'll put it here because I know I took a photo of a placard on the wall. He had told me about an association of similar bed and breakfasts and inns in the Midwest. And some of them don't necessarily show up on Expedia, some do. I found a couple of cool ones, actually, in Minnesota and in Wisconsin that I don't think I would have found in my normal search. So, if I had all my rooms booked, I wouldn't be able to course correct like that and change, my plan as I learn things as I'm traveling. And had I made all my travel plans ahead of time, I wouldn't have had that flexibility. So anyway, that's just a couple of reasons, why I kind of leave a little bit of the planning to the actual trip itself. So just enjoying my first cup of coffee. Gonna do a little journal entry. I don't know if I said it before, I do a journal entry every morning when I'm traveling. Some of the basic things: where I'm at, the date, the temperature, and the weather. Profound? Probably not. Anyway, I'll see as the day unfolds. Today we're going to Iowa, by the way. But first, an amazing breakfast is ahead, I'm quite sure. Nestled in the rolling hills of northwest Illinois, Galena is a town rich in history and charm. Once a bustling lead mining hub, it now thrives as a destination for travelers seeking its well-preserved 19th century architecture, scenic landscapes, and vibrant downtown. From its historic streets to the Mississippi River views, Galena offers a unique blend of history and modern appeal that draws people back again and again. Today we're staying at the Cloran Mansion Bed and Breakfast, a beautiful Italianate home dating back to 1880, where guests are welcomed by the warmth and hospitality of its innkeeper, Paul. His passion for sharing the mansion's story and caring for his guests adds a personal touch to every stay. I had the chance to sit down with Paul to learn more about his journey and what makes the Cloran Mansion such a special place. Let's dive into that conversation.
John Cloran came here from Ireland in the 1840s, and he set up a dry goods store down on Main Street, which was there for decades, and he built this house in 1880.
You said something the other morning, and I was really interested in talking to you because it was kind of a pivot moment in your life.
Yeah.
From teaching to being the owner and proprietor here and the innkeeper. So tell me a little bit about that, what that journey was like.
Yeah, so I taught for 26 years, high school, in and around Chicago, and mostly U.S. history, U.S. government, and it was a good career. I was department chair for about 12 years, and so I enjoyed that, but I felt like I wanted to try something else while I still had time. And so I was just attracted to the hospitality industry. And Galena has kind of a community of bed and breakfasts. It's a good place to run a B&B. It's open 12 months of the year. And the previous owners were really helpful in setting up a transition to make sure we knew what we were doing. And so I'm just grateful that we did it.
Did you just plunge in and start running the thing, or did you?
No, so we came out here and stayed as guests, and then I came out and volunteered for them during my winter break. And so to get a feel for what their days were really like. And then I followed that up a couple of other times. And so one thing led to another. Just wanted to get a sense of really, all the different aspects of running an inn. And so volunteering was the best way to do that. Teaching high school is rewarding, and you meet a lot of great students over the years, but teaching mostly required classes, they're there because they have to be there. And one of the things I've enjoyed about transitioning to this is just serving people who are here by choice. And that's kind of that's a fun thing and a rewarding thing. I know I'm not changing the world doing this, but it is nice to provide a place for people need to get away, and it's nice to provide that sort of space.
Say, this is a pivot a little bit, what would you say to somebody that's maybe a little hesitant on pivoting in their later years, trying something new? I think as the older you get, sometimes you can get stuck in your ways and be fearful of change.
Yeah. So, our lifespans have increased by so much over the last century that, people often were dead by 30 or 40. And so the idea of working in a cubicle, for example, for 30 years, or doing whatever, working for corporate America for 30, 40 years, I think maybe people have come to think that that's somehow normal. And I'm not convinced that that is. That, we grow and change over the years, and who you were at 22 is not necessarily who you are at 50, and it's kind of nice to try something else and to do something that you think you might enjoy a little bit more. If money is the main motivation, that can kind of limit the options that you set before yourself. If you can kind of put that aside a little bit and look at some other things, I think it can be very rewarding to try something else.
Well, and what you did, volunteering or just dipping your toes into the water was, I think, a great way to do that. Certainly, I guess probably took the fear away on your end.
Yeah, it certainly did, and they worked real hard to build my confidence that we did this 20 years ago, and you can do this too. And so that was very helpful.
All right, thank you.
All right, yeah, no problem.
I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
What's funny is I started
All right, I probably should have done a proper closing of Galena, maybe down by the water or downtown. Interject a little B-roll as I'm finishing this up, this little wrap up. So I've thoroughly enjoyed my last couple of days. I want to certainly give a huge thank you out to Paul, who allowed me my first interview during this process, during this quest to visit all 50 states in 1 year. Thank you very much. It was the owner and the proprietor of the bed and breakfast. That's the video you just saw. It was certainly interesting to talk to him, and again, thank you for granting me that first short interview. He resonated with me when he spoke to all of us the first morning I was here during breakfast. And the thing that really grabbed my attention was his own personal pivot moment, and that is running this bed and breakfast. And how he did it was very interesting. If you're ever in the area of Galena, which is on the northwest side of Illinois, I highly recommend it. Right outside of the town of Galena, it's a beautiful little bed and breakfast. I think they have about maybe 4 or 5 rooms. Anyway, chatting with him was a fantastic way to end this section of my trip. I'm heading off to Pella, Iowa next. I hope this is an omen of things to come. I'm really looking forward to talking to more people along the way, specifically, or hopefully, people who are in a pivot moment in their life. So we're gonna hit the road now. As always, as I like to say, more on all of this later.